What is up, guys? Orbital-Pilot back here once again in the world of Warthunder, this time flying out the F2 Sabre in some realistic battle gameplay. So I'm going to show you two clips here today, and the first one is, I believe, my second fly out in this plane, and I think the next one is like, I don't know, probably my fourth or fifth, where I tried to learn some of the things that I've been learning flying out a top-tier jet. That isn't the MiG-15. So let's get started right away. So this being my second match, I fly directly into the battle. Now, I learned that this was probably a bad thing to do. It's the MiG-15s and the MiG-17s are faster at lower speeds. They have better thrust at those lower speeds, which means that in a turn fight, they will out-accelerate you if they try to run away. So I like to stay low and fast for the time being. Now going head-on with the MiG-15 when you don't know how to shoot these cannons, probably not a good idea. Now luckily enough, I do get a fairly lucky hit, but he also hits my tail pretty hard with, I'm not sure if they were 23s or the 37, but I most definitely felt him. Now going head-on again, probably not the best idea. I was not going to risk my luck a third time though. Instead, pull it back up into the vertical, climb a little bit. I like to wait till I'm at about 450 miles an hour before I make my turn, or even a lower speed if someone is chasing me. So this is a fully stock F2 Sabre. Now, with both the compressor upgrade and the engine upgrade, you will gain about 1,200 newtons of force by your engine. That is a massive difference. So I'm expecting once this thing is fully upgraded to have quite a bit more thrust and for it to hold its energy a little bit better. Now right now it does hold its energy amazing. It's probably one of the best I've ever flown out. And as we can see, the MiG-15 went down a couple of seconds ago. I think I critted his tail, and I don't think he was able to keep up with the maneuvers. So this being my second game, I was really cautious. And these cannons are unlike anything I've ever shot. Just not even close to the A&M2s, not like the Hispanos, not like the Germans. So totally different learning curve, and it's still taking me. I am still learning, and I've probably flown out 18, 19 matches now, and they are just difficult to shoot. But it will get easier over time. So MiG-15 pulls vertical, probably not the best idea. Even for a noob like me, this just makes it easier to shoot you down. Now, one thing I did notice about these cannons is that you cannot hold them down for longer than a second. As we can see, I actually do kill them, but my cannons have been completely overheated. So 2 kills for the match. That's not the worst thing I've ever done. I did bust up my plane pretty badly, and I learned that the cannons have to be shot fairly close to the target. You do not have to lead nearly as much as other cannons I've flown. Not even as much as like Hispanos. So not a lot of leading, and yeah, you should be fairly good. Now, I would show you the rest of this match, but the IL-28 that you see right above me, guess what altitude he went to? 11,000 meters. 11,000 meters just to make the game go on. Now, I don't often call out people, but you, sir, you're that one person who everybody hates. 11,000 meters. I chased him up there. The jet engines don't really work at that altitude, not too well. And he sniped me from 1.4 miles away. So, yeah, I was really angry. And that goes back to what I was talking about in my Russian video. If you haven't seen that, go watch that right now, because I address that topic specifically. There needs to be a limit height for the bombers, especially when they're the last person alive. Okay, so this second clip is for all the people who say Russian teams are better, German teams are better. This is what happens when a couple Sabres, I think there's only like 3 F2s or 4 F2s, not even a full team of F2 Sabres, not even, there's a bunch of, I think there's a Vampire, a couple A5s, a couple Meteors. So not even a team full of top tier jets. This is what happens when three, and no, I'm not counting myself because I was a noob here, still am, but I'm not counting myself right here. But I am playing very cautiously and using the advantage I know I have, instead of just rushing in and turn fighting a bunch of MiGs, which, don't get me wrong, the Sabre is capable of doing on a one-on-one, but it's not really worth it. There's better ways to fight your battles. So I'm following these guys. I figure they're in a clan, they know what they're doing, so, you know, when you're in Rome, do as the Romans. So I'm going to do exactly what they do. And if that means climbing all the way out here and then turning back in, this makes, you know, that's what I'll do. And I actually found that this was a very, very viable tactic. Not only does it allow you to come on top of the MiGs, but once you get to the battle, you're already going your max speed. So there's no way they'll ever catch you. And let me tell you something, from flying in a MiG-15, there's nothing worse than seeing that F2 Sabre above you, going his terminal velocity. There's just not a lot of things you do. You can turn, but that's about it. You're kind of out of options. So right here, this was one of the most cinematic moments I have ever had in Warthunder. That is just beautiful. I've waited a long time to fly out this plane, and that made it totally worth it. I took a screenshot of that. In fact, that should be the thumbnail to this video. This is an absolutely gorgeous plane. I would just like to state that this is my favorite plane of all time. So, if I speak fondly of it, I do. Or, you know why. So, these pilots were actually saying that the Sabre had got a buff. I'm not sure if that's true, but they're saying it's performing as it should be, or as it used to, and they're absolutely loving it. Now, my fighting method in this game was amazing. It was on point. It was perfect. The only reason I didn't get kills was because I'm terrible with these cannons, or at least at the time, I was even worse than I am now. So dive down. I'm going 694 miles an hour. I'm not going to turn with this MiG. I may put a couple shots out, but I'm not going to waste a lot of energy. Now, I don't want to worry too much because I can see that most of the team is turn fighting. But there's always that one MiG-17, it seems, who's just waiting for you to start turn fighting too. So I'm not going to put myself into that situation where I could possibly be hurt. Now, as we can see, someone does kill my teammate right there in the Sabre, but not too much of a worry. Those two pilots that I was following are doing amazing jobs of diving down, killing these MiG-15s and 17s. They were honestly some very good teammates. They all wanted to join together after the game because it's very rare to find an American team like this, which is kind of sad. Because if you think about it, the F2s are fully capable planes. So they also spawn with hunters. You know, so a team full of hunters and F2s could absolutely dominate the match. But a lot of times, that's not the case at all. And in fact, if you have a couple meteors on your team, it's a really awesome idea to go put the meteors in the middle of the match, have them turn fighting. Coming from a meteor pilot too, I love dogfighting MiGs in my meteor. If you guys haven't seen my, my Sea Meteor video where I killed like 5 MiGs, go watch it. You'll see what I mean. And that will allow the MiGs to be low and slow, and for all the other F2s and hunters to come in and just absolutely dominate the match. Now, as you can see there, diving down on that MiG-15, now coming back onto him. If I had better guns, I'm sorry, not if I had better guns. If I was a better aim, I probably would have had 2 kills by now. But it's not just that. The actual belt that you start off with, the default belt, sadly enough, does have a practice shell in it. So a third of the bullets you're shooting are practice shells, which is it's kind of sad because it really, really limits the damaging factor on this plane. So right there, that should have been another kill if I had just been slightly better aimed. We're talking 3 kills now. I probably would have got them now that I've had 2019 matches on it in the plane, but sadly enough, I did not get them here. So yeah, so far guys, that's my only complaint with the plane, is the practice shell. Once I get the engine upgrades and the gun upgrades, I will probably make another video, because I will have gained 1,200 newtons of force from the engine. I will have got those stealth belts or whatever I decide to use, and I should be killing people a lot more rapidly, which I will be posting montages of this plan, so look forward to that. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you aren't following me on Twitter or Snapchat, go do that right now. It's Orbital-Pilot, just like it is on YouTube, on both Snapchat and Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.